13 of the ugliest animals on the planet. The ugly stick of evolution. Number 1. California Condor. One of the world's rarest birds and North America's largest flying land bird, the California condor is a graceful animal when it is gliding high above the canyons and deserts of the American West Coast. But up close, this bird isn't so photogenic. Its bald head is an adaptation for its lifestyle as a scavenger, since a feathered head would become clotted with blood while the bird feeds on large carrion. The birds gorge themselves so much that they often have to rest for several days after a big meal. Number 2. Blobfish. The blobfish looks more like a ball of slime than a living creature. Blobfish live deep in the ocean, where pressures are exceedingly hot. The aesthetically challenged blobfish was once voted the world's ugliest animal in an online poll conducted by the British-based Ugly Animal Preservation Society, which made the fish the group's official mascot. Number 3. Naked Molerat. These animals live underground in insect-like colonies, and they have little need for good eyesight. Their hairless bodies are also an adaptation for their underground environment. They actually do have some hair, about 100 fine hairs on their body that act like whiskers to help them feel what's around them, and hairs between their toes to help them move soil behind them when they are making tunnels. Interestingly, naked mole rats are also among the longest living of all rodents given their size. They can live for nearly 30 years, and they have a remarkable resistance to cancer. Number 4. Proboscis Monkey. A human might run for cover with this nose, but for the proboscis monkey, the bigger the nose the better. Scientists think these outsized organs create an echo chamber that amplifies the monkey's call, impressing females and intimidating rival males. These curious-looking monkeys are also amazing swimmers, thanks to their webbed feet and hands. They leap from trees into the water, often hitting with a belly flop. They're so talented in the water that they can often swim faster than crocodiles. Number 5. Warthog. These wild members of the pig family have the characteristic pig nose, tusks protruding from their mouths, a wart-like curvature to their faces and a nappy mane of hair that cascades down their backside. They have 2 pairs of tusks. The upper tusks emerge from their snouts making a semicircle and their lower tusks are situated at the base of the other set. Their bodies are covered in bristles and they're distinguished by disproportionately large heads and those wart-like pads that offer protection. They aren't an image of beauty, but they are remarkably well adapted to their harsh environment. Number 6. Starnosed Mole. These moles might have the most bizarre noses in the animal kingdom. Their weird whiffers are defined by 22 fleshy appendages that act more like ultra-sensitive fingers than a nose. The snouts are lined with more than 25,000 minute sensory receptors that help the mole feel its way through its underground lair. The outer tentacles probe for a potential meal, then the inner sensors decide if the prey is edible. Number 7. Aaye. This gremlin-looking creature, called an Aaye, is actually a primate found in Madagascar. Aayes have a number of unusual traits, including a long, bony, witch-like middle finger that they use to pry insects and grubs from tree trunks. Aayes also have incisors that continually grow and extremely large ears. As it walks along a branch, the Aaye taps it with its skeletal middle finger. It cups its huge ear forward, listening for the echoes coming from the tree. When it knows it is above an insect tunnel, it tears off chunks of the tree with its massive teeth so it can uncover the tunnel and feast on the insects within. Number 8. Monkfish. These unappetizing, freaky-looking fish are a commonly eaten delicacy, but for years, people didn't want to eat the fish because it was so ugly. Chefs realized that its looks were deceiving and now it shows up on the menus of all sorts of fine restaurants. Monkfish have huge heads and their heads are filled with tons of razor-like teeth. Number 9. Marabou Stork. Standing over 5 feet tall with a wingspan of more than 10 feet, these African birds are scavengers of large carrion, which is why they have featherless heads. They also eat other birds, and have even been known to consume flamingos. These birds also have some unattractive habits. They defecate all over their legs and feet, giving their appendages a lovely white appearance. This helps them regulate their body temperature. Marabou storks aren't particularly active. In fact, they are relatively lazy. They stand around much of the time and often pant excessively when they are hot. Number 10. Elephant seal. Baby elephant seals and female elephant seals are pleasant looking. But males begin developing a large nose when they reach sexual maturity, somewhere around 3 to 5 years. The huge proboscis is fully developed by 7 to 9, giving the seal the look of its namesake elephant with a massive, floppy trunk. Number 11. Horseshoe Bat. Like most insect-eating bats, which use echolocation to catch their prey, horseshoe bats have a warped appearance that looks more like an ear than a face. This adaptation makes them more receptive to sound waves, which allows them to swiftly navigate through the air. The bat gets its name from the shape of its nose leaves, the fleshy structure surrounding the bat's nose. The upper part is pointed and the lower part is shaped like a horseshoe. Number 12. Redlipped Batfish. The red-lipped batfish gives the impression that it tried to compensate for an unusual body by caking on the lipstick. These odd fish are mostly found around the Galapagos Islands and near Peru. Scientists believe that the purpose of the bright red pucker is for the male of the species to attract the female. Interestingly, they are better suited for walking along the ocean floor than swimming. When they reach adulthood, they use their dorsal fin as a fishing lure to attract prey instead of for swimming. Number 13. Hyena. These beasts of the savannah aren't the prettiest animals on the planet, but at least they have a sense of humor. Although known for being scavengers, they actually kill 95% of what they eat. A group of hyenas can dismantle and devour a 400-pound zebra in 25 minutes. An adult spotted hyena can tear off and swallow 30 or 40 pounds of meat per feeding. Though they look like wild dogs, they are more closely related to civets, mongooses and meerkats.